Hi, and welcome to An Author Plays Board Games. I'm Ethan Dunn, an author, and I love to play board games. Today we are looking at Flamecraft, with art by Sandra Tang and design by Manny Vega, and published by Cardboard Alchemy and Lucky Duck Games. Flamecraft is a 1 to 5 player game in which you are taking on the role of a Flamekeeper. Now the Flamekeepers get to essentially employ dragons throughout the marketplace, putting them in different shops in order to provide different services. As you go from location to location, you are going to get the opportunity either to gather supplies in which you are going to be able to get resources of specific kinds like bread or potions or metal, and then you're going to be able to later go to other shops where you can enchant those shops in order to make them even more effective. It's almost like an engine building game where everybody's building the same engine together. When you enchant, you're able to fire up all the dragons, enjoying a special ability from every single dragon. If you go just to collect, you'll be able to fire up one dragon that you can use to boost your game and your game level. You're going to get lots of opportunities to see a bunch of cute little dragons and their awesome artwork. You're going to be able to visit various different shops and use their resources in order to help you build the biggest reputation as the best Flamekeeper in the village. Now, what I like to tell you guys is why I keep this game on my shelf, why it's one of my favorite games, and why I think you might like it as well. So, here are a list of things that I think make this game a standout. Number one thing about Flamecraft that I just love is the artwork. It is what drew me in, and it's, according to a lot of what people say online, what draws lots of people into Flamecraft, is the art is just so amazing. It's cute, it's got lots of character to it, the little shops are so much fun. It is just incredible artwork all the way around. And it is one of the reasons why I love this game so much, is it's so fun and beautiful to look at. It gets you excited about playing the game just seeing it. A second thing that I love about this game is I'm kind of a big gamer. I like to do lots of big box games that are pretty complex. Flamecraft is a great one to break out for a group that loves those complex games, but it's also a great game to pull out for those players who don't like those complex games. Instead, they want to play something more simple, something easy to explain. So I have a family that doesn't necessarily love those massive complex games, but I have a friend group that adores them. And Flamecraft manages to stride that line in between both of them. So my family can enjoy it, and my friends who love strategy and going really in depth can also enjoy it. The third thing I love about this game is the theming. I love dragons. As a matter of fact, I've been writing a book recently that is all about dragons, and that some of the art by Sandra really inspired me. So I love the dragons. I've always loved the Dragonology books growing up, and the Dragonology handbook I got in junior high school at a Scholastic book fair. This really does dive deep into the theme of dragons. You're going to see really cute ones, you're going to find ones that you love. There's one called Suzette that my wife loves because she has a character in one of her books named Suzette. I love Brisket personally. I love Chunker. Who wouldn't love a dragon named Chunker? So just being able to move through those cards and enjoy the art of it is one of the best things about this game. Now, Flamecraft is not a perfect game. I want to also give you some reasons that weren't enough to make me dislike the game and not own it, but might make it not the game for you. Number one is the lack of complexity. I did say earlier that yes, it straddles the line between a complex board game and a simple board game, but this game really is much more of a simple than it is a complex board game. Even though it's an engine building game, there's really only a couple of options. Move to a store, and at that store, place a dragon, get some resources, or enchant the store and fire up the dragons. Other than that, there isn't a whole lot of complexity to it. Now there is some strategy, I'll never say there isn't, but the level of strategy and the depth of it isn't very high. So if you have a friend group, a family group that just don't love games that get a little too simple, if they're far more into the complex games and they love Scythe and Twilight Imperium, this game may not have enough crunchiness to it to be enjoyable to them. The second thing that you may not like about this game is it doesn't really have a competitive element. Yes, at the end of the game there is a winner, whoever got the most reputation points, but it isn't really a game where you can do a lot of damage and gotchas to your other teammates. As a matter of fact, the only thing that really is a gotcha is the special dragons or fancy dragons that you get at the end of the game, although those will really only still be kind of a personal solitaire game as opposed to something everybody can fight against. As well as that if you go to a store that's already occupied by another player, you have to give them one of your resources. So really, after getting that resource, it feels more like you're helping each other rather than fighting each other over who's going to be the best Flamekeeper. So, at the end of the day, if you have a group that really loves competition and wants to really start pulling out the knives, this is not going to be the game that's going to get them to do that. That's actually one of the reasons I like the game, is that sometimes those hyper-competitive games, they can really cause havoc at the table, and so I like that this game doesn't feel that way. Another thing is that if you really want to get the full experience, you do have to get the upgraded version of it that was on Kickstarter. The game that I have is not the Kickstarter edition of the game, and you can tell. Those little mini dragons that you can get from the Kickstarter, the solid actual metal coins, the resources that look like those resources and are usually wooden, those are beautiful and make the game so much more alive. I don't have that one, and sometimes I regret that. So, even though it's more expensive, if you're going to get this game, it may not be a bad idea to get the upgraded kit with it, because it really is going to add to that theme and that story of the game. Now lastly, the story of the game. Being an author, I adore stories, and as a matter of fact, one of the reasons I play board games is because I like to be in the story of the game. So, does Flamecraft really help you feel like you are a Flamekeeper whose story is that you're employing these dragons out? Yes and no. It's not the most thematic game in that, no, it doesn't really grow on you of, I am a Flamekeeper and I'm moving around town doing these tasks. It really does start to feel you're just moving a piece from store to store. That doesn't make it a game I don't like, obviously, since I own it, but it is one that decreases the story. The heavy lifter of the storytelling is the art. The art, like I said, is so beautiful, so much fun, so cute, and so it is the thing that's going to be driving that theme and that story forward. So that's Flamecraft by Cardboard Alchemy and Lucky Duck Games. I love this game so much. It's really fun and a staple on my shelf. We play it pretty often. I really recommend it for your shelf as well. It's great, it's wonderful, and hey, at the end of the day, I can tell you that this is the game that got me inspired to build my own story about dragons, the Dragon Companion: A Mixture of Light. You can go check out some more videos about other board games that I'm going to be posting here pretty soon over here, or you can go look at some of my author channel stuff as well and see what I'm doing with my writing right now. Thank you so much. This has been An Author Plays Board Games. I'm Ethan Dunn, an author, and I hope that you enjoy Flamecraft the way that I did.